it'll be a Draven versus Blenny de Vilma state finals.
Really?
I do.
Okay. Well,
I've seen Blenny wrestle.
That's quite the statement. Let's talk. Why? Why do you feel that way?
Well, I've seen first off, Bluey's a great kid, super great wrestler too, extremely athletic, has wrestled some of the best kids in the state. I don't believe he's wrestled Hussam yet, and I'm very interested to see how that goes because Hussam's a very long, lanky kid.
Yes.
But Bluey is also has length and is very strong and very athletic, and has taken out some top kids in the state.
Run it, baby. Ricky Cheese, baby.
Hey guys, it's your boy Ricky Cheese with the FloridaWrestling.com, and as usual, my boy Alex Wisdom from FL_Wrestling Insight on Instagram. Make sure to go give a follow. Tonight we are going to give you the state preview for 2A. We dropped the video for 3A. A lot of comments. I got a lot of messages today requesting 2A and 1A, so you ask and you shall receive. So Alex, we're going to talk about 2A. What we think may happen at the state tournament. Granted, the people we're talking about get through to the state, which most likely they will. But we're going to start at 106. Number 1 ranked Matt Shuler from Charlotte. Then I've got RJ Phelan from Lake Gibson. The reason that Phelan is ranked number 2 at 106 in 2A is because Gavin Fisher, he was making the weight. He had a good cut, but he just wasn't feeling good. He wasn't feeling well. He was unable to wrestle, man, so he's out. Now, this kid was ranked 1 and 2 all year long. He is out. Very unfortunate. My heart breaks for him because I know how bad he was chasing that state title. But the good news is he'll be back. He's not a senior, so he'll be back. So RJ Phelan is number 2, another good wrestler. Joe Obstaculo from Hollins. It used to be called Dixie Hollins when I was in school, but they dropped that. Now it's just called Hollins. He's at number 3. Gary Mendez from Matter Academy, number 4. And Zach Lito from the ever so powerful state champions at Tampa Jesuit. So those are the top 5. Let's chop it up, man. Matt Shuler, I don't see him getting beat. I think he's going to be your state champ in 2A. What do you think about that?
I agree. I was actually going to say, watching the state duel tournament and seeing that Gibson and Jesuit duel, I thought that RJ was going to score a lot more on Zach. Granted that he was higher ranked than him, and it was closer than I thought it would. And then seeing Matt Shuler wrestle, I know he's dominant. He gets done with his kids pretty easily, and he gets busy. I also think Matt Shuler can dominate, but I think a sleeper to pick on is Gary Mendez from Matter Academy. Yeah, very close to his brother, 2-time state placer. During his time when we wrestled each other, we had some great matches. He was actually my region finals match, so Gary's really good. He's been dominating this year. He's cut a lot of weight, but he's managed to stay there, and he's a big 106, and he's been beating a lot of great kids and has led on a lot of great kids too this season. So I think Gary Mendez is a kid to sleep on, but if I had to pick a guy, I'm picking Matt Shuler from Charlotte.
Yeah, it's really, really tough to pick against a senior 106-pounder, and not just any senior 106-pounder. A really good senior 106-pounder with a proven track record. The kid wins. He won the Cradle Cancer, which is a very tough tournament. He's just good, man. He's well coached. He's got Evan Robinson over there among the other assistant coaches, but Evan was a wrestler at Purdue. He wrestled D1. So just good coaching, good solid program. Matt Shuler will win a state title, barring any injury or anything like that. Who's going to be in the finals with him? Is it going to be Mendez? Is it going to be RJ Phelan? Is it going to be Joe Obstaculo? Or does Kano Austin shock the world as a 7th grader? I got him ranked number 6 in the state.
No,
Jake's little
Kano's
brother.
good.
Kano's for real.
Yeah, Kano's good. I mean, let's say we get the right bracket we should. It should be Matt and RJ. But in my opinion, I don't think it would be crazy to say Matt or Gary or even Matt and Zach. I think for sure Matt will be in the state finals. It just depends with who. If I had to pick, I would say Matt and RJ.
Okay. That's a pretty solid guess. I would not argue against that. But you know what? I'm going to go with RJ Phelan. RJ Phelan's going to make the finals. And I'm going to tell you why. I just have a feeling, man. I think the Lake Gibson program is really tough. Obviously, everyone in that room can push RJ, but he's a really tough kid. I've watched him many times. A hard worker, a lot of family support there, good people. I do think he has what it takes to make the state finals if everything works out right. If not, probably Mendez and Shuler. So that's what I think at 106.
I agree.
All right, so let's move on to 113. And at 113 is Garrett Ferguson from North Florida. He's at Gulf Breeze. He's a junior, 40-4, got him ranked number 1. But at number 2 is a returning state champion from Illinois. He's a sophomore. He was a freshman state champion in Illinois, which is no easy task, no matter what weight class it was at. He's at Riverdale. Moved here to Florida. He wrestles at Riverdale, 39-2. But then at number 3, we've got Tampa Jesuits' Brock Glover. We've got Charlotte's Caden Moore. And rounding out the top 5 is Joe Tucker from Lincoln. That's quite a lineup there.
It's a tough group.
Yeah.
I know Garrett's really good. I've watched him wrestle before. But if I had to choose a kid winning the state title this year, I think I'm going to go with Eric Bush from Riverdale. Illinois is not a bad state to win a state title in at all. Very tough competition there. Some great wrestlers do come out of Illinois. And you're talking about someone that won states as a freshman in that state coming out to Florida. I think he's going to have that confidence and that mentality to go into the state tournament and just dominate. And I think that's what he'll do. I think Eric Bush will win a state title.
Well, you said that a lot of good wrestlers come out of Illinois, and that is definitely a fact. We have one of them living here. He's actually a 4-time Illinois state champion. Can you name who that is? He's a coach.
Is it Rossi Bruno?
Nope.
No?
No, Rossi's from Wisconsin.
Who is it?
Really? You don't know? Connor Beebe.
Connor Beebe. Beebe trained wrestling.
Yes, sir.
That's crazy. Yeah, Beebe trained wrestling. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Connor's from Illinois, 4-time state champ, 4-time NCAA Division I qualifier at Central Michigan with Scotty Sentes. They were like best friends. I think they were roommates. So, yeah, man, Illinois is definitely tough. I know Garrett Ferguson is very good. You got to be good if you got 40 wins on the year against only 4 losses. My only reservation with saying he's going to win a state title is just his location. You know, North Florida they have come so far, and they are putting more kids on the podium now than I've ever seen before. But was his competition good enough to where he's ready to go win a state title? That's the question I have. Let's talk about that for a second. What are your feelings on that? You know, you get a kid from an area that may not be as tough as other areas. How big does that come into play? Like, what do you think about that?
Personally, to me, I don't think that may come into play as much as people may say it does. If we look at a lot of great wrestlers in the past or state champs and schools they've come from, a lot of things may be unexpected. But I'll even go back. There's a kid from Lincoln Park, won a state title, I believe, in 2022, 2023.
Yeah, he's at Morgan State right now.
Yep, Kyle Gray.
Yeah.
If you look at Lincoln Park, and this is Lincoln Park because they're having a great season this year.
Yeah, no, they're not a powerhouse program.
Yeah,
right.
And that's a kid who won a state title for that, and I believe he was underdog too, so he beat some top kids. And if you just look back more in time, I mean, there's a lot of state champs that may not come from powerhouse programs that end up claiming it all.
Right.
So I don't think an area really challenges that much because I just think like the work ethic you put in, and as long as you have the mindset that you're the best, I think you can win a state title anywhere.
No, that's a very valid point. That's a really valid point because Lincoln Park, are they in Palm Beach County or St. Lucie County?
I think Lincoln Park might be a little more south.
No, I think they're north of Palm. I think they're in St. Lucie. I think they're in St. Lucie. They're either in Palm Beach County or St. Lucie County. Either way, not the toughest counties in the state. So not only was he at a newer school for the most part. I mean, they were around less than 10 years, I think. But man, gotta put gel in hair. I don't think he really cared about that. Jacob Pryor as his coach, who's now at Centennial, coaching the girls program over there. But, Jacob Pryor is a great coach, came in, started that whole program at Lincoln Park, and told him, you are the best. There is nobody better than you. And he believed it. And he worked his ass off. And he became a state champion. So that is a very valid point. So with that being said, I'm going to say Garrett Ferguson is going to be your state champ. So we're going to disagree on that. You're taking Bush. I'm taking Ferguson. Now, let me say this. I've watched Eric Bush. The first time I saw him was when they had the freestyle Greco States at the same time they had the Spartan Nationals. I forgot where it was, in the Orlando area. Oh, it was at right next to the Silver Spurs, that little arena right next to it.
Yeah.
So that's where it was. And I watched him. fantastic, phenomenal. I'm like, who the hell is this kid? And that's when I was told he's brand new to Florida. He's a state champ out of Illinois. I go, well,
Makes sense.
there you go. Makes sense. So nothing against Eric Bush. He is fantastic, and he can win a state title. But I'm going to say I'm going with Garrett Ferguson. Let's go North Florida. Let's go North Florida. Show everybody what's up.
All right.
All right. Then,
One.
well, hold on. We've got our 2 finalists there. But where does Brock Glover fall? Where does Caden Moore and Joe Tucker fall?
I don't think Brock Glover is crazy to say that he couldn't make the state finals. I think Brock's a great wrestler, definitely improved from last year. If you just watch him wrestle and see the stuff he's done, I think he can accomplish a lot. It's not crazy to say that he can make the state finals or upset some of these top guys.
As a matter of fact, when I saw Eric Bush wrestle, it was against a Tampa Jesuit kid. Now, it was freestyle, much different than folk style. I'm not sure if it was Glover or not. It probably was.
I think if it was over summer, then maybe, but I know Glover was 106 last year because he wrestled Gabriel Tedesco in the state dual finals last year.
So it was probably Brock, and Brock won. He won that match. It was freestyle, but he beat Bush. If that was him, whoever it was, they beat Bush. Very close match, and I believe Bush was winning the whole match, and he came back at the end and won. But anyways, yeah, Brock Glover, top 3. I would say top 3 for sure, if not making the finals. And same thing with Joe Tucker, man. You know, he's got good coaching over there at Lincoln, which is where I graduated from. I went to St. Thomas for many years, but my senior year, I moved to Tallahassee. I graduated from Lincoln, so that's my alma mater. So I'm putting Joe Tucker. I'm going to say he's going to finish in the top 4, maybe 5 or 6, but I think top 4. But yeah, it's tough. What about Michael Masonette? What do you know from him about Matter? He's Gary Mendez's partner, man. What's up with him?
Michael's really tough. I've watched him wrestle before. I watched him wrestle at the Gillis Strong.
Yeah.
I believe I've watched him wrestle there. Also a big 113. I was told by his coach he was originally supposed to be 120, but a kid we'll talk about next that's now at 120. Michael's a big 113, and he's athletic too, very skilled, very aggressive. Yeah. I think he's not someone that's crazy to say that he could shock the state, especially with the coach they have now. I know Coach Ralph Cater just moved into there and is in that room now. And I've known Coach Cater for years since I was a kid. He trained my older brother to 2 state titles at Cardinal Gibbons.
We've talked about Ralph before. Very close friend of mine, close friend of your family's.
Yeah,
super great coach.
A lot of people say questionable coaching style, but hate him or like him, he gets the job done and he gets kids state titles.
Damn right. All I can say is this about Ralph Cater. If you want a state title, let Ralph Cater coach you, but just understand, if you have feelings, they will get hurt.
100%.
They will get hurt. So no softies around Coach Cater. He's the man. He's old school. He's going to put his foot in your ass if he needs to, but you're going to walk away as a state medalist, possibly a state finalist and state champion, and his track record speaks for itself.
He gets the job done.
He does get the job done. So, yeah, I definitely expect to see Michael Masonette on the podium along with Nathan Harvey from Middleburg. And then the last kid I want to mention is Nathan Holoko from Martin County. He's only a sophomore. He's got 55 wins against 10 losses, but that's a lot of wins, man.
I know Martin County moved from 3A to 2A this year, and they're actually in Region 4 now. And Martin County also just so happened to be at the Gillis as well. Got to watch them wrestle. Very scrappy team. And maybe overlooked in 3A, but I think their move to 2A has definitely put them more on the map now. Not a team that should be slept on.
I don't know if I agree with that, because I think, in my personal opinion, I really do feel that 2A is the toughest classification right now. It used to be 3A, in my opinion. I don't think anyone can touch 2A. Look at these schools you got there.
No, I mean, a lot of transfer ends this year. Somerset, Jensen Beach coming here. And then, like you say, historically 3A is the hardest. But if we talk about true depth of teams here, Charlotte, Somerset, Lake Gibson, Tampa Jesuit, all these tough teams are coming in now.
Yeah, Charlotte, Lincoln, Middleburg.
Yeah, it's arguable. It's very arguable.
Somerset, if we didn't mention them already. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do have one dark horse, Jaden Russell from Braden River. He's 26-11, but he's well coached. Cesar Charbonneau, love him or hate him, he's a good coach in my opinion, and he puts his entire heart and soul into every damn kid he coaches. He's one of those 24/7 coaches. There's no off season. He's taking his kids to every off season tournament, Disney duels. What's that one? That one big tournament that's been here for years, like the military tournament. What's it called? Special Warfare, but
Oh, I know what you're talking about. But yeah,
trying to tip my tongue. I can't.
it's yeah. No, I know what you're talking
But
about.
yeah,
though.
he takes them everywhere. So I think if anybody can shock anyone and get on the podium for top 8, it's going to be Jaden Russell, and I'm hoping he does. I really do, because kid apparently is working hard. He's made the lineup. If he makes it to the state tournament, I think I would really like to see him place top 8. I think he can with the right bracketing and wrestling his butt off. But anyway, that's that. All right,
Yeah.
so next weight class is what, 20?
Yeah, arguably the toughest top 3 in any weight class, maybe even this year.
Name them.
Lucas Berrios, Jake Austin, Malachi Ortiz, top 3. All state champs except for Lucas Berrios. But Lucas Berrios is ranked number 1. And I'm personal friends with Lucas Berrios. Super cool family. Got to meet him through Coach Cater. And he's the real deal. If any of you have seen him wrestle, you've seen that he's tough. He has national championships as a 7th and 8th grader. He's a preseason nationals champion. He's an NHSCA nationals champion. I believe he's a Super 32 national champion, or at least finalist.
So what you're saying is he's okay.
He's okay. He's okay. He does have a win over Malachi Ortiz
Good win.
at a national tournament as well.
Okay.
But he has not wrestled Jake Austin yet. So we'll see what happens. But, I mean, knowing him personally and the way he trains and how he just kills kids every time he wrestles them, I'm going to have to go with Lucas Berrios.
Yeah, I would have to go with him too, just for every reason that you just named. Plus, I've seen him and he is the real deal. And, he's another kid coached by Cater. But with all of that being said, he'll win a state title. But we didn't forget. We just haven't gotten to him yet. Number 4 ranked. You name the top 3, Berrios, Austin, and Ortiz. Do not rule out Jacob Bucci of Clay High School.
No.
38-3. The kid is a proven winner. Tougher than shit. I love him. Tough kid. And he's going to place top 4, and I think he's going to make the state finals. And I know that's a bold statement, considering who the 3 guys are in front of him. I don't care. Bucci's finals.
Clay's history of the kids they've brought to the state tournament and history of state finalists they've had, there's no reason to say that's crazy. Just, in my opinion, it depends on the bracket. Could Lucas, Jake, and Malachi be all on the same 3 sides? I doubt it. I would hope not.
What regions are they in? It's going to depend on that.
Lucas is in Region 4, Jake Austin is in Region 3, Malachi is in Region 2, I believe.
That could happen. They could all be on the same side. Can you imagine Bucci gets on one side and those 3 are on the other? That would be ridiculous.
It would be crazy. Like I said, I would hope it wouldn't happen, but just because of the region and area they're in, it's a possibility. Yeah. But I think if that happens, it's going to be the most hyped up quarterfinals, semifinals matches you're going to see at the state tournament.
100%. And another kid that you can't rule out, I love this kid too. There's so many kids that I really am fond over just because I've been following them and watching them, go from one level to the next. Our number 5 state ranked guy, Matty Ireland.
Matt Ireland, yeah.
Matty's tough as hell too, bro. He's 65-4, man. He's got almost 70 matches on the year.
That's insane.
And again, we go back to asking the question, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. We're going to find out.
We are.
We're going to find out. Matty's going to be top 4. I really do believe that. It's his time. He's a senior. There's no more chances for him. I think he's going to be top 4, maybe top 3. Because, listen, not everybody is going to have a great tournament. It just doesn't happen that way. Maybe they will, but realistically, just on my experience of being around for so long, there's really great kids that just freeze up for whatever reason. They just don't put it together at that time. So those types of things happen, and that's when a kid like Matty can freak everyone out and win a big match and make the state finals. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely.
But Matty will be in the mix, man. What do you know about Gavin Salmons, another Gulf Breeze kid?
I don't know much about him, me personally, but if he's training with, kids we talked about, like Garrett Ferguson,
yeah,
he's bound to be good, or at least be up there,
yeah,
or at least have his wrestling IQ get better and better each and every day.
Well, he's 46-3. He can't be horrible.
No, of course not.
And then, Xavier Chavez, Winter Springs. What do you know about Andre Rossi from Somerset? I got him ranked number 8.
No, yeah, I've seen him wrestle before, Andre. Obviously, South Florida, Somerset's more near me, so I've seen him go around. I've seen him wrestle, and he's tough. He really is. He gets the job done. Obviously, being in Somerset room, one of the best rooms in the state, he's bound to get better. I know he has good training partners, but yeah, no, he's a tough kid. He's tough.
Is he top 8 tough, or is he maybe losing the blood round tough?
No, I do believe he's top eight tough.
Okay.
The thing is that that region besides Berrios is so stacked together
Right.
that anything can happen.
So if he makes it out, you predict top 8.
I do
Okay.
believe top eight.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, let's move on.
Let's
26.
go 126. I think we can easily agree on this one.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, Sebastian DiGenerro will be a 4-time state champion.
He's going for his 4th. He's already got 3 in the bag. He's 41 and 5. I think most of his losses were at national tournaments.
Yeah, they were. But going back, the first time I saw Sebastian wrestle was at the state tournament his freshman year. I watched it, and he tech falled every single one of his opponents he wrestled. And then he kept the pace every single year. Pin or tech fall at the state tournament his sophomore year and his junior year. There's no doubt that he would tech or pin his way to another 4-state title. He's ranked number 11 in the nation.
Oh no,
He's a 3-time.
he's not going to be tested. He will not be
Yeah.
tested. He will either major tech or pin everybody. That is my prediction. You heard it here first. I think you agree
No.
with that. And that's no
I-
knock on anybody else. It's just he's at a different level. He's already
He
signed
is-
with Oklahoma.
No, yeah, he's already signed with Oklahoma, which is a D1 program, always on the come up. You just can't really go against him. I mean, he's who he is for a reason. He's beaten the top kids in the state already in multiple different classifications.
Yeah.
So
You know who beat him though? You know who beat him this year?
who
Antonio Mills.
from Mill Creek, Georgia.
Yes.
And so actually, Antonio Mills is ranked number 10 in the nation.
That kid's
But
good.
after his great showing, I believe at Super 32, he moved all the way up to like top 5.
Yeah. And where is he from originally? Not Georgia. Do you know?
Where's he from? I don't. Really?
Florida.
I did not know
Right
that.
here, up in the Treasure Coast where I live, up in Port St. Lucie.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were from Florida. My oldest son, Nick, coached all his kids. You know, he's got 17 sons. His dad has 17 children.
That's crazy. God bless him.
17! Crazy. Anyways, he's one of the 17, Antonio Mills, but, bro, he knocked off DiGenerro. So, got to give him props.
yeah.
Number 2, we've got Roberto De Jesus of Lake Gibson. He won't give DiGenerro a match. And again, not a knock on anybody. You're ranked number 2 for a reason, my brother. So please don't take offense. But he's just at a different level. So De Jesus, probably a potential state finalist. Otherwise, Carlos Sains from Somerset. Those Sains boys are tough, man.
All of them are tough. His older brother Tristan teched me my senior year. He's a tough kid.
So is Michael.
Michael Sains is we'll get to him. Michael Sains is tough.
Yeah.
Tristan Sains is tough. Carlos Sains is tough, and I have another little brother who will be on the come up, and he might be as great as all of them.
Yeah.
But Carlos Sains is really good. But him and DiGenerro have wrestled, and I think Carlos got teched in the first or second period.
There you have it.
So
There you have it. Number 4, we've got Zach Gerardo from Lincoln. He dropped down. I had him ranked number 6 at 132, either last week or
Yeah.
the week before. So he dropped down to 26. And at number 5, another kid that I'm very, very fond of, just because I know how hard he works, and I've seen him over the summer at different camps and clinics, is Cale Seneca from Fort Myers. Very nice coach, too. I've spoken to him quite a few times. Really super nice guy. But I do look to see Cale on the podium somewhere, probably top 6. Maybe a 4th, 5th, or 6th. But Kale's going to walk away with his state medal. Number 6, we've got Zayden Zajny. And at number 7, Vontae Burke from Clay, another Clay kid. And then Noah Scribner from Brandon is number 8. So those are the top 8. I think every single one of them can battle for 2nd through 8, but they're not getting first.
no,
Not with
Sebastian
Sebastian
DiGenerro
DiGenerro.
is one of the huge favorite state champs this year.
Absolutely. You'd be crazy to put money against them, that's for sure. All right, B2.
So, well, number 1, Christian Fretwell. And before we go on to the other people, if you look at Christian Fretwell and who he was last year compared to the Christian Fretwell this year, there's a clear difference.
Injuries,
There
right?
were-
Injuries?
Injuries, correct.
Yeah.
So apparently last year he was battling a lot of injuries. Wasn't the wrestler he was. Made the state finals, lost a close match to Ryan Winters, I believe.
Okay.
Or
Oh, no,
Ryan-
no, from Winter Springs, Ryan
Winter
Phillips.
Ryan Phillips from
Ryan
Winter
Phillips.
Springs. Very
Do
close
we
match.
know our wrestling or what?
Yeah, right. Ryan Winters from Winter Springs and Christian Fretwell, came into this year obviously with revenge on his mind, and he's healthy. When he's healthy, I believe he's one of the best kids in the state.
Yeah.
Went to Ironman, won a handful of matches, faced Lincoln Sledgianowski, who I always talk highly
Yep.
of, and I think he majored him. So
He majored Sledzanowski?
I believe so, at the
Wow.
knockout finals.
And you know what? Here's another thing, and you just touched on this. You know, he's 36-4, so he does have 4 losses, but those are out of state losses. That's at the Ironman. That's at the Doc B in California. This kid's going to all the tough tournaments, man.
And he's a D1 signed, UNC.
Yeah, for
So,
sure. But you know, at number 2, you got Sebastian Bonaccia from Fleming,
yeah,
35-2.
Sebastian Bonacci is actually the kid I wrestled in the first round when I went to States. And he ended up placing 5th at States that year as a freshman. So, it's good to see him up there. Nothing but the respect for the kid. I know he's a great wrestler. Just like Rylan Herrera from Clay,
Yeah.
Reed Yakes from Tampa Jesuit.
Yeah.
Isn't Yakes a Fargo All-American, if I'm not mistaken?
I think he is.
Yeah, so all great wrestlers. If I had to choose someone, I think I'm going to choose Christian Fretwell to win a state title this year just because of the dominance he showed in Florida.
Yeah.
But if there is one kid I believe is getting slept on, I would have to say Dooley Brutus from Miramar. Not only because I've been in that room and the kids that are as close to his weight that are pushing him to be the best, but he placed 6th last year at the state tournament. So he's coming in with that experience and confidence into not just the region but in the state as well. And I think there's a possibility he can knock off some top state guys.
Yeah. No, you're right. I don't know how high he can place. I've got him ranked number 9 in the state right now. Right above him at number 8 is Jacob Fuentes, another Braden River kid, 59-10. He's got another kid with 70 friggin' matches this year almost. But I think he will place. I will say Dooley will place. I just don't know where. I think it's going to be like a 5th through 8th type thing for him. And the reason I say that is because you got too many kids ahead of him that I don't think he's going to beat. Rylan Herrera from Clay, Bonaccia from Fleming. And here's my dark horse, not dark horse. Here's my guy to shock the world and will wrestle Christian Fretwell in the finals. Aiden Bama from Riverdale. Aiden's going to wrestle in the finals. That's my prediction. But he's really, really good. He's really tough. He's been up and down in weight this year. I think he was at 32, then at 26. He might even wrestle a couple at 38. But he's settled in at 32 right now. And it's tough.
I think it'll be Christian and Sebastian or Christian and Reed. Just depend how the brackets go.
Yeah, no, it's going to be Fretwell and Bama.
Okay.
That's
right.
what I think.
Yeah.
But again, you can't count out any of the others. We're just saying what we think. But Bonaccia, definite possibility. Herrera, definite possibility. And Reed Yakes, definite possibility. But we didn't talk about Luke Arthur from Manatee. This kid's beaten everybody. He's not losing. I think he's got 1 loss on the year. He's a senior. How good is he? I don't know. I know he wrestles for Manatee. They wrestle a fairly decent program every year. Good gets them to tough tournaments. Is he good enough to make a run at a state title? I don't know.
Possibly.
He's tough. I've seen him wrestle. I just don't know him well enough to say, yeah, this kid's going to take top 4. I don't know. I think he'll go top 6. I think he should, based on everything that I've seen, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. All right, 138.
Yeah, 138. Let's do it.
All right, so this is something that's been on and off the whole year, but if Maximus Brady comes and wrestles for his 4th state title, he will win his 4th state title. There's no doubt in my mind that he will he will dominate to get a 4th state title.
Yeah.
He wrestled a kid that he lost to previously twice, Giovanni Solis from South Dade. He wrestled him in the knockout finals this year, and then he majored him. A kid he lost to twice before. I mean, if you know Giovanni Solis, you know he's one of the best kids and arguably should be ranked in the nation.
Yep.
So
I can't believe he's not ranked in the nation. Are you sure about that?
I think he's on the cusp. If not, he should be there soon. Now, if Maximus Brady doesn't wrestle this year, and I know we talk about this in the text all the time.
He's wrestling.
He's wrestling this year.
It's confirmed. I spoke to, I think it was Connor Beebe, and Max trains privately with Connor, and I was told he'll be there.
All right, so then, I have Maximus Brady. If I had to pick a sleeper, obviously I know we all want to see a Maximus Brady, Jaden Bowles state finals, but I think someone who I also know personally and is a really good wrestler, I think Famous Neely will go to the state tournament, and if the brackets come out well, I think he can make the state finals.
Okay.
Famous is probably one of the best kids in neutral I've seen so far this year, just because of his athleticism, speed, strength, and if he gets his top and bottom right, I think he will be dangerous to wrestle for a state title this year. And I know his losses are to some of the best kids in the state in different classifications as well. So he has no scrub losses. He made the Gillis tournament with a sprained ankle in the beginning of the season, and he made the finals. And he faced one of the top kids in 3A in his weight class.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt in my mind that he will get the state finals if he gets a good bracket.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, definitely Max Brady wins it. He's another kid at a whole different level. He's also signed with Northern Iowa, be wrestling for Doug Schwab, another great former Iowa Hawkeye wrestler. So he's going to have great coaching. They'll get him to the next level, and they will develop Max Brady into an unreal collegiate wrestler. And I say that because I know his mindset, man. He loves it. I've spoken to Connor Beebe about him, and he said that's the type of kid that will be a D1 All-American. He's just got that work ethic. He's got that whole mentality, and that's what he does, man. That's what he loves to do. So he'll do it. Jaden Bowles, another great selection to possibly wrestle Brady in the finals. Famous Neely, like you said. You got Brady Jackson from Lincoln at number 4, Trevante Burgess from Lakeland at number 5, Christian Bonilla from Lyman at number 6. But I want to talk about my number 9 in the state, Noah Gregory. Is a kid that does not get as much credit as he should, other than from me. I'm always posting about him because I like him. I think he's good, and I love the kid because it could be one of the top 3 hardest workers in the state that I know of, and I've been told that by Walker, his coach, so I know it's true. He is a transfer to Lake Gibson. He came over from George Jenkins. He wrestled at Jenkins, came over at Lake Gibson, and it's just, for him, it's a completely different room. You know, he's got really great kids to bang with. You know, Christian Fretwell, I'm sure, is his training partner. I really do believe that Noah Gregory will be on the podium in the top 6. Could be 3 or 4. Do I think he can beat Max Brady? Not a shot. And I love the kid. But there's levels to this. We know this. Could it happen? I've seen it happen. Of course it could happen. What do I think? I think he's going to go 3, 4, 5, or 6. That's where I would love to see him place. Obviously, the higher the better. I'd love to see him in the finals, but I would definitely love to see him place, 3, 4, 5, or 6, and I think he will. What else do we have with 138? Are we done with that?
I think that's it.
All right. 44. We have Xavier Albo. Then we have Jaden Oliver. I know you're a fan of Jaden Oliver and Albo.
I'm friends with.
And number 3, Jonathan Bruner, who ain't no joke, from New Smyrna. Mason Otwell from Pace, and number 5, Solomon Lucas from North Fort Myers, 29-3. So let's chop this up. Albo wins it, or Oliver wins it?
I think Oliver wins it. I believe they're 1-1 in the season right now. And if you watch the match at state duels, Jaden didn't wrestle like Jaden usually wrestles. And I know how Jaden wrestles because I've wrestled with him before. He, like we talked about before, he went from South Dade to Southwest to Lake Gibson. So he's been in the best rooms in the state, all across the
100%.
state. So he only knows greatness. And I believe that's the mindset he will come in. And I think Jaden Oliver will claim a state title this year.
Let me ask you this. Maybe you know the answer, maybe you don't know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. I ask the tough questions here, man. Why is he 13-6?
I don't know. Like I said, one of those losses is to Albo, but I do know that he wrestled at the Christmas knockout as well. So if you put a handful of those losses in there too, you know how many out-of-state kids come to the Christmas knockout.
Yeah. Was he injured part of the year? Like, why does he only have that many matches?
I don't know. I couldn't answer that question for you, and I wouldn't want to put words into his mouth or the coach's mouth.
Well, if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. But I know the possibility of 6 losses is from Albo and a Christmas knockout.
I'm just wondering why he only has 19 matches on the year when I know, those Lake Gibson kids have way more than that. They got over 50 matches, but regardless, I do think it'll be an Albo Oliver finals if they're on opposite sides of the bracket. Are they in the same region?
They are.
Okay, so they'll be on opposite sides of the bracket. Yeah, definitely Albo Oliver in the finals.
Yeah. So, and then my sleeper is I have to go a kid that's unlooked at, and his name is Darian Shannon from Somerset. Now, I know it's crazy to say this, but I know who he is. He went to states as a freshman. He didn't place, and although recently he did get majored by Jordan Pineda from Felix Varela, I know him. I know the work ethic he puts in. I know how hard he works, and he's in a tough region as well, where a lot of those good kids are all put together. And I believe if he makes it out the region, I believe he can be a state placer this year.
I talked to Blasucci I've spoken to him a few times about Darian Shannon, and the only thing that bothers me about him is the inconsistency. He's another kid where I've seen him look great, and then other times where I've seen him lose to kids that he definitely shouldn't have lost to. So I think when you're this deep into the season and you're talking about getting on the podium, I think you got to be a little more consistent. Now, am I telling you that Shannon will not be on the podium? I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying if he wants to be in the top 8, he's going to have to bring it, and he's going to have to show why I have him ranked in the top 10. He's got to prove it, man. He's got to put it together and show everybody that he can be, a little better than some people may think. But
No, of course.
I think he's a very good wrestler, and I do think he has what it takes. Listen, he's Blasucci coached, and he's got a great room, so he does have what it takes to make the top 8. Whether he does or not, that's going to be completely up to Darian Shannon.
Of course.
But he's young. He's only a sophomore, right?
Yeah, of course. He's only a sophomore.
Okay.
Went to States as a freshman.
All right.
So it's a good accomplishment.
Absolutely. But yeah, I agree with you. Albo and Oliver in the finals. And I think if you put a gun to my head and said who's taking third, I'm gonna tell you either Otwell or Bruner. That's what I think.
I agree.
All right. So where are we at now? 50?
150.
Let's do it, man.
So 150. So let's talk about the sad loss of a great wrestler at 150. Not loss as in passing. This came out a little dark, but injuries did stop him this year. Mason Basile.
Bro, what happened?
I don't know what happened, but off a social media post that he posted about, he will not be continuing the season off of injuries. And I know Tristan Sains was 2-0 against him this year, but with very close wins. But now with Basile gone, there's no reason why I don't see Tristan Sains as a favorite.
He has to be the favorite. Listen, he's got
has to
2
be the
wins
favorite.
over Basil.
And we know how good Basil is.
Fantastic, phenomenal,
So
elite level.
yeah, and I know Tristan's elite too because he's an 8th grade state finalist. He's a 9th grade state finalist.
Yeah.
You know who he lost to?
No.
Nick Yancey, who's a 3-time state champion.
Oh yeah,
From Florida.
Nick Yancey
right now
is also a collegiate All-American. I just found that out.
I believe he got 4th, and then he's ranked number 1 in the nation in NAIA too.
Outstanding. And guys, let me real quick, not to cut you off, but I want to mention this because it's something that's I'm pretty passionate about. I see people roll their eyes when you say NAIA. Don't roll your eyes until you've wrestled NAIA. It ain't no joke.
It's
You've
not
got
easy.
a lot, not a few, a lot of D1 level guys competing in NAIA. Not every great kid wants to wrestle D1. Sometimes you're good enough to wrestle D1, but would you rather be a very tiny fish in a huge pond, or do you want to be a shark in a guppy tank? And I'm not saying that NAIA is a guppy tank. I'm just saying that it's not D1. So these NAIA guys, they are tougher than hell, man. Okay, I'll give you a perfect example. Brevin Balmaceda. He was recruited and wrestled at Oklahoma State for John Smith. Didn't work out there for whatever reason. Doesn't work out for a lot of kids. They move on. They go to another level. He went NAIA. He's a Division I level guy, and he's a 2-time two-time national champion right now.
In 2 different weight classes.
2 different weight classes. Very good point. And now he's got his brother on his team with him, so that's cool. So NAIA ain't no joke, so I just wanted to throw that in there.
No, yeah. And then his 9th grade state finalist was against Gavin Nolan, who's a 3-time state champ now, going for his 4th.
Yep.
And both of those matches weren't close. Sophomore year didn't wrestle for whatever reason, but junior year, he's here. He's beaten some of the top guys in the state. 1 loss on the season. There's no reason why I don't see Tristan Sains winning the state title this year. I've wrestled him too, and he's as good as they say.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
Nice.
So I think Tristan Sains will win the state title this year.
Well, first of all, I want to put out a heartfelt I'm sorry to Basil. That's horrible. I hate to hear any kid getting injured, but especially a kid that would have been in the state finals. But the good news is he's not a senior either. So, he can come back. But I just want to put that out there. It's a horrible thing, and my heart goes out to the Basil family and his coach, his father, Sal. But with that being said, Tristan Sains will win the state title at 150 pounds. At number 2, I've got Gavin Cohen, another Gulf Breeze kid. What's Gulf Breeze doing up there, man? putting out some good kids. Number 3, I have a Fleming Island kid, and I don't know how to pronounce his last name. His first name is Laird, but it's either Duhalingzad or Dulingzad, Duhalingzad. Do you know how to pronounce that last name?
I don't, but Laird, you're a great wrestler. He's a state placer as well.
Yes, exactly. Laird, I'm sorry for screwing your name up. Dulingzad, please message me and spell it out phonetically so I can get it right, because you deserve to have your name pronounced right. But he's a senior, 31-6, Fleming Island. Tough program year in, year out. Number 4, Leandre Campbell, another tough Gibson kid, Lake Gibson. Cameron Popek from Lyman is number 5.
I think if Leandre gets a good run, he could be in the state finals.
I was going to say that.
I was about to say, I think if Leandre gets a good run, he could be in the state finals.
Yeah, he's got what it takes. Definitely got what it takes.
100%.
So, all right. So those are your top 5 at 150. 157, our boy KJ Vasquez, Tampa Jesuit. But does he get past Hodge?
Well,
Does he
I believe
get past
Hodge is...
Armando Wisdom?
So let's talk about Hodge and Vasquez first.
I want to talk about Wisdom. All right, you go ahead. Let's
Yeah, so I know Hodge is 2-1 against Vasquez right now. He beat Vasquez at GFC.
You probably know more about this weight class than any other weight class because your baby brother's there.
Yeah, I do. So
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I know they faced at GFC. Hodge won. They faced out Christmas Knockout. Hodge won. State duels. Vasquez won. All one takedown 2-point matches.
So KJ has the latest win.
The latest win he does. For those of you who don't know, my little brother is in his senior year. He does wrestle. His name's Armando Wisdom. He's ranked top 3 in the state. And I know Hodge.
Hold on. Top 3 in the state. Very easily could be number 1, and he's 34-0.
Yeah.
You forgot to mention that. 34-0. Kid has not been beaten all year. Go ahead.
You know, he's a good wrestler.
It's okay.
But we've been on the national team with Hodge before, and Hodge is a great wrestler as well. KJ's a phenomenal wrestler. But if my brother was ranked 3rd, 1st, or 25th, I'm choosing my brother to win a state title this year because that's him. I know how hard he works. I know how hard he wants it. And I know what he does. You know, you guys can call me crazy. You guys can call me biased.
Never.
And I am biased.
He's 34-0, and you should be biased. He's your brother, but he's a 34-0 brother. So that speaks volumes about his ability. But let me ask you this, and I'm going to ask you a tough question. I really want you to be very, very, very honest with me. If he's not your brother, okay, put that out of the picture. If he's not your brother, are you still going to sit here and say, I think this kid's going to win a state title? And be 100% honest.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think anyone can win a state title. If they're on, they have the work ethic, and they put the work in, anyone can win a state title. I think he will be in the state finals if stuff turns out right. I think if stuff turns out bad, he's a top 4 placer. But I believe 100% that my brother will win a state title this year, and I don't care what anyone says about it.
Who cares what they think?
I'll die on that hill.
Good for you. I love that.
You know, he has Eric Hodge on the region. I expect him to meet him in the region finals. I've seen the bracket.
They wrestled before?
They've wrestled twice before. So the first time they wrestled, I think Hodge won like 12-4.
And when was that?
12-6. Last year in the beginning of the season, and then over the summer by word of mouth, because I was in PA at the time, that they wrestled again, and then they had like a call out match or something, and I was told that my brother won. So if all is true, they're 1-1 against each other. Now they haven't wrestled each other all season. Like I said, I'm just being told what I've been told.
Right.
Like I said, I think my brother can go up with the best in the state. And I truly believe that.
How's his gas tank? How's your brother's gas tank?
Gas tank is real. Everything about him is good.
Beautiful.
I'll go on that hill. He has his flaws, but I'm not going to name it.
No, of course not. I want you to do that. That'd be crazy.
So, no, but genuinely, honestly, his gas tank is good. He always tells me he loves going into overtime with kids. I don't know why he says that, but he loves going into overtime.
Oh, my goodness.
But that's not what we settle for. We settle for domination.
Right.
So he will see Hodge in the region finals, and I'm excited to see how that match will go. We will both be watching if you're still coming to the region. But
I'm gonna try, but I was just told I have other plans. But let me see what I can do.
No worries. But yes, you know, Hodge, Vasquez, Wisdom are my top 3 picks to win a state title this year. But I'm going my brother, Wisdom.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna name one kid that can spoil it for everybody. Not saying that will happen. I'm just saying, like you said, anybody can win it. Well, another kid that has the ability to do that is from Middleburg. He's a senior, Wyatt Leduc. Yep.
Wyatt Leduc. Wyatt
Absolutely.
Leduc is really tough. I've seen Ola's matches on Flow. Obviously, this is a weight class I study heavily. Wyatt Leduc is very tough, super long for this weight class. Uses his length to his advantage. Athletic, knows how to scramble very well. He's
Is he a
tough.
leg rider, being that he's tall and lanky?
I would assume so. I've seen him throwing legs before. I've seen him not throwing legs and beat kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's a great wrestler as well, and he really could spoil the party for everyone.
Yeah, very good coaching. I love the coaches over at
Of
Middleburg.
course. Yeah.
So yeah, Wyatt definitely has a real good shot at being in that state finals. Maybe it's a Wisdom Leduc finals.
Maybe
Maybe
we'll
they
see what
shock
happens.
everybody.
Maybe. We'll see.
Never know. One other kid I want to mention, Isaiah Zaituni from Osceola Fundamental. I don't know a lot about Osceola Fundamental just because you don't see a lot of kids from there in the top 5. Do we know what do we know about him? I know he's 38-2. I know he's a
I don't know
senior.
anything about him, but I know that people have told you that he's tough and he's a great wrestler.
He's got to be. If he's 38-2 and he's in Kissimmee, Florida, I mean, Osceola Fundamental, they got to be right near Osceola High School. So they're probably wrestling
Exactly.
those same tough schools up there. But yeah, that'd be interesting. I'm going to watch him and see what happens. And then at number 6, Drew Holmquist from Clay, Jerry Ware of Lake Gibson, Mataniah Barth from Hollins, Chase Utley or Utley from Port Charlotte, and Braddock Carroll from Choctawhatchee. I love saying that, man. I wish I went to Choctawhatchee. Where do you go to school? Man, I go to Hatchie. I love it. Anyways, I'm an idiot. But anyway, that's 157. Let's get to 165.
I think
I don't think.
I know
McCall and Mustafa.
Draven McCall will be a 3-time state champ.
Oh, really? Okay.
And honestly, I think if stuff turn out right, I think it'll be a Draven versus Blenny DeVilma state finals.
Really?
I do.
Okay. Well,
I've seen Blenny wrestle.
that's quite the statement. Let's talk. Why? Why do you feel that way?
Well, I've seen. First off, Blooney's a great kid. Not kid. We're around the same age. But Blooney's a great guy.
I know what you meant.
And super great wrestler too. Extremely athletic. Has wrestled some of the best kids in the state. I don't believe he's wrestled Hussam yet, and I'm very interested to see how that goes because Hussam's a very long, lanky kid.
Yes.
But Blooney has length and is very strong and very athletic and has taken out some top kids in the state. Someone to not look past is Julian Gonzalez.
Yes. I've had him.
So-
He was ranked number 1 at one point in the year.
He was.
Yep.
Multiple sources had him ranked number 1 at one point in the
Who
year.
did he lose to? Because he's 34-1. He's only got one loss. Was that
He only has
Mustafa
one
or
loss.
McCall?
I'm assuming it has to be
I
towards
forgot.
one of these top kids. But Julian Gonzalez is someone that is also... This whole weight class has length, and they're all athletic. But I believe Draven majored Hussam. So
Draven
At the state-
all majored Hussam? When was that?
I,
Really? I didn't know that.
yeah.
I think I did,
So
but I just forgot.
So I could be wrong. I hope I'm corrected if I am wrong. But I think Draven has potential to be a 3-time state champ this year. I know he's lost matches to no-time state champs this year though. Kyle Gallo is one of them from 1A, but Kyle Gallo's tough. But yeah, no, Draven's a super tough kid.
Well, I found out who Julian Gonzalez lost to this year. It was Leonard Gilly. Leonard Gilly. He's a senior. MSH. What school is MSH? It says MSH.
MSH is, I believe, Miami Southridge.
I know. Yes, that's right. Leonard Gilly. We just talked about him the other
We just
day.
talked about him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's his only loss. And I'll tell you what the score was. He lost to Gilly. It was fairly close. 13.
It's not a bad high scoring match.
Yep, that's his only loss on the year, was to a tough Dade County kid.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then when he wrestled for third, he beat really a kid from a very weak school, John I. Leonard in Palm Beach County. They don't compete that much. But that's who he beat for third. But that's his only loss, was to him. So,
Yeah.
yeah, man. I mean, if you're only losing to Leonard Gilly, if you're going to lose, that's not a bad kid to lose to. But yeah, he's going to have to bring it if he meets up with DeVilma for sure. But what about Malachi Lewis? That's a Niceville kid, 33-5. He's ranked top 5 for a reason. He's 33-5.
Of course, yeah.
McCall, listen, I have to agree with you on that because he's been there before. He's been there before.
And he's won it, so...
Yeah, and I think
I
I
mean-
think he will win it again. I just don't know who he's going to be with. I guess De Vilma would be a pretty safe guess. If not him, either Gonzalez or Mustafa, right?
Yeah.
That's what I would think.
No, yeah. Yeah.
Who else do
But
we have in that weight class? Those top 5 are about number 6, Vince Contreras from Pasco. He's 40-7.
yeah, Vince is also good.
So-
but yeah, I think I have to go Draven here if anything.
Yeah. All right. So that was 65. Moving on, 175. Michael Sains
Michael Sains is winning the state title this year.
over Khalil Hernandez from North Fort Myers.
Yes.
Okay.
Michael Sains. So fun fact about Michael Sains, he's wrestling and doing jiu-jitsu at the same time.
Okay.
In 1 week, he wrestled at a super tough tournament, won the title at that tournament against top ranked kids, and then then competed at Who's Number One for jiu-jitsu like a week after.
Yeah.
So he's always training, and I'll tell you something off camera that's also very crazy. But Michael Sains is going to win a state title this year. Like, I have no doubt in my mind.
It's a bold statement, being that Hernandez from North Fort Myers is 26-2. Nicky Bernard from Palmetto Ridge is 24-3. Don't forget about Amir Costin.
Don't forget about Braden Cahalan.
Don't
Braden
forget about
Cahalan's
Cahalan
tough.
from Gibson. And don't forget about Scott Cook from Braden River or James Opitz from Niceville, another Niceville kid.
No, yeah, I think Braden Cahalan can upset a lot of people here. Khalil Hernandez is obviously good, but still, I got to hold favorite to the South Florida bias maybe. But Michael Sains he's doing great things this year.
No,
You can't doubt.
he will win it. I agree.
Yeah, I think he'll be in the state finals, if not for sure.
Yeah. All right, so 190.
190. I feel like we're going to disagree here, but I want to hear your point first. Who are you picking?
Brody Switzer.
I'm picking Mateo Martinez.
I have Martinez ranked number 1, but I've had Switzer ranked number 1 the entire year up until last week. I think Martinez must have just beat him, maybe? Is that why I did that?
No, I don't think they've wrestled actually yet.
Okay.
But
I don't know. Maybe
know.
Blasucci was getting in my ear too much, telling me how great Martinez was, and he convinced me.
Well, Martinez is really good for South Broward.
I'm kidding.
Plays,
He didn't tell me.
I know.
anything.
I know. Martinez is really good from South Broward. I believe he got 4th or 5th at states.
Yeah.
Transferring to Somerset. No knock on South Broward, but Somerset's amazing.
Of course.
And he's getting some great work in with tough guys in almost every weight class.
Okay.
So I think Mateo Martinez will win a state title this year.
Nice. I think so too. I mean, Brody Switzer will be in the finals. Martinez will be in the finals, but I think Brody Switzer at 46-1 does have what it takes to win a state title. I think he will. So I'm going to go with Brody Switzer from Pasco. You're going with Mateo Martinez from Somerset.
But I think
Who's going to be on the podium with them? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think a sleeper for the whole thing is Gary Bradley
From
from
Bayside.
Bayside.
Yes.
I'm personal friends with Gary, actually very close with him. I've seen his evolution throughout the years, going to states twice, and he wants to be in that podium this year, and he's working really hard to it, and he's beating some tough guys this year, some really tough guys.
Nice.
So I think if he has his head on straight and does what he needs to do, he will be on that podium this year for sure.
He will. So will Jacob Rodriguez of Winter Springs. He's 34-6.
tough.
He's a junior, but Bradley from Bayside, he's 33-2. He's a senior.
And those 2 losses are only to Jeremiah Chavez from Hernando.
Oh, no way. I didn't know that. Or I did know that. I
Yeah.
just forgot about that, too. See, when you get 56 years old, you start forgetting stuff. It's called, like, dementia or Alzheimer's. Matt Sinclair, Fort Walton Beach. West Lucas, North Fort Myers, and Clark Daly from Mariner. Those are all guys that can make the podium as well. So that'll be interesting to see. 215, what do we got?
So I know Harper Noel is returning. He was a pretty far favorite number 1, and now that he's back, that's what it looks like. But if we look at the past of this season, we've had kids like Porter Loveland.
Yes.
We've had kids like Aaron Stacy.
Yep.
All switch between that number 1 spot. Can Harper Noel win a state title? Absolutely. But with minimal matches under his belt going into the postseason, we'll see what happens. I mean, this is the first weight class where I can say I don't have a certified state champion.
I do.
But
Harper Noel's going to win it.
Harper Noel's going to win
Yeah,
it?
he's going to win it. If they're on opposite sides, it'll be against either Porter Loveland or Kyle Nilsson. I'm going to go with Nilsson. You know what? I can't go against Middleburg coaches, man. They're so damn good. They have their kids hyped and ready to go. So Harper Noel beats Porter Loveland in the state finals. Kyle Nilsson will take 3rd. I'm thinking maybe Comerford from Pinellas Park, Aaron Stacy, Clay, Gabriel Solis from Lake Gibson. They'll be right there too. Did I say Talon Babin from Ponte Vedra? Because he's right in the mix as well.
No, yeah, you didn't. Yeah, this is a weight class that's definitely shaky up for me, but Hey, I think we think the same, so I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go Harper Noel.
Okay, there we go. 285. Let's do it.
This
This
so
one is tricky, and I'm going to tell you
this
why.
is. I was just about to say this is tricky, but you go. You go.
Okay, so I've had Ryder Luck ranked number one the entire year. I had him on my podcast right before the season. Funny as hell. Great football player. Great wrestler. Just a good kid. And for a heavyweight, he's got a gas tank, bro. So I've had him ranked number one. He's had a couple of losses, though. Seth Shiams from North Fort Myers, 40-1. Jackson Newton from Charlotte, number 2. So those are your top 3, Shiams, Newton, and Luck. But don't count out Kevin Reyes, Fleming Island. He's undefeated, 17-0. And then at number 5, I got Blake Elder, another well-coached kid from Jensen Beach. So those are the top 5. 6, 7, and 8. Logan McAllister from Mosley is 6. Eric Stouter from Fort Walton Beach is 7. Leland Callahan from Lake Gibson is number 8. So those are the top 8. Don't know if they're going to be on the podium, all of them. But those are our top 8. What do you think? Who's going to win it? Shiams, Newton, or Luck? Or Reyes?
I think this is probably the trickiest one out of all of them. But if I had to choose, I think I'm going to go Ryder Luck from Lincoln.
He's a returning state champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Ryder Luck from Lincoln.
Okay. You know what? I love you, Ryder. I really do. And you're from my alma mater. I'm going with Shiams. Just because, you know what? Screw it. I'm going Ryder Luck, man. You're a returning state champ. You deserve it. Let's get it done. Shiams, you're going to be in the state finals as well. Newton, you're going to get 3rd. That's what we think. Prove us wrong.
Prove us wrong. But yeah,
We
I
like
think Ryder
prove
Luck.
wrong, by the way.
We do. But yeah, I think I got Ryder Luck too.
Yeah.
Just because he has that bad blood coming up now and he wants to win it.
For sure. Can any of those other guys that are in the top 10 or even 2 of my honorable mentions, can they open eyes? Can they upset one of those top 4 or 5 kids? Like, can Abdur Bey from Somerset pull off a big win?
Yeah, I think Logan McAllister or Blake Elder can all pull off wins too.
Okay.
So they're up there for a reason.
Yeah, well, McAllister, I would expect him to be on the podium because I have him ranked 6th. I'm talking Isaiah McLeod, number 10 from
you're talking
Smyrna.
about- okay.
Luis Jimenez from Brandon, he's an honorable mention. Abdur Bey, an honorable mention. Ethan Toomey from Childs. Can those types of guys that are in the top 10 or top 12, can they get into the 4, 5, or 6 spot? Is that possible?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's possible, but is it probable? What do you think?
I think so. I think so. There's always a joke of the first heavyweight to go down loses just because of how big they are.
Right. Not anymore though, because these kids
But
are
not anymore.
They don't
though.
look like
The heavyweights are getting way more athletic.
They're shredded.
They look good. So it's a possibility, especially now with the evolution of heavyweight and how it's been wrestling. I think Gable Stevenson has evolved the way heavyweight wrestling should be.
Yep.
So it's a possibility, and if those guys, if any of them, know that they can actually take shots to win matches and move around and not just rely on the upper body, I think that they could definitely upset. I think if I had to choose someone, I think I'm going to choose maybe Abdur Bey. I think it's a Somerset program.
Yeah.
You know, you can never go wrong with it. So.
Right. And what you just said is very, very accurate. You know, the heavyweights of old are not like the heavyweights of new. You know, Ryder Luck hits high crotches, hits doubles, singles, outside sweep singles. These are heavyweights that are shooting. You know, you don't usually, normally, back in my day, maybe even not too far before your day, the heavyweights would tie up. And like you said, whoever got thrown first was getting stuck. Not so much like that anymore.
No.
So that'll be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, I'm going to go at Ryder Luck. That's my alma mater. I can't go against the returning state champion.
Me neither.
All right. Well, guys, thank you. I appreciate it. We love you guys. Again, as usual, I'm going to tell you, drop a comment. Did we get it right? Did we get it wrong? Are we idiots? Are we geniuses? What do you guys think? And remember, I'm always going to say it. Don't forget to go to Instagram. Give them a follow. FL_Wrestling Insight. It is the best Instagram page by far. He'll be coming out with a Facebook page and a website and the whole 9 yards. Don't worry, he's going to be there. But for now, follow him on the Instagram. But again, as usual,
I appreciate it.
Wonderful working with you, collaborating.
All the time.
I love everything you bring into it. So, yeah, I'm going to try to get there on Saturday. I don't know if I can, but I'll definitely try.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, my
Thank
man.
you guys for watching.
Absolutely. Have a great night, guys. Have a great night, and
Have a great night.
we'll talk to you guys later. Remember one thing. Keep on grinding for greatness with the FloridaWrestlingRoom.com.